Hi, my name is Alexander Ortega, and should the United States keep the death penalty? I personally do think they should keep it, just because I do think that there are some crimes that people can commit that might make them irreparable, in my opinion. I think prison should be like a rehabilitation center to a degree, where people find education, hobbies, or even religion to kind of get the ball rolling for their lives and maybe show them that there is a better way to live rather than thinking about how to make money using crime or thoughts like that. So I do think there are some crimes that people can commit that just makes them irreparable, because I think after you do really explicit things, you can't be fixed. And I also don't think that the victims' families ever get closure. Um, like, imagine one of your family members gets murdered in an extremely brutal way that you couldn't even make up, and you know that that person's still out there somewhere around people, whether it's in prison or in a mental institute, um, something like that. So I think the death sentence kind of keeps prison a better place because it can be used as a rehab to a degree. And I think it serves justice to the families, and it gives them some kind of closure. So the two changes that the Supreme Court they've made over the years is that in 2002 they excluded people with mental disabilities from being included into the death penalties, and then in 2005 they also excluded the juveniles under the age of 18. And I actually do like these two because sometimes people with mental disabilities can be like schizophrenia. They really don't know what they're doing a lot of the time. They don't know what's real or what's not. And when it comes to the juveniles, I understand it because, they say the frontal lobe doesn't develop until your mid-20s. You can't really process consequences the same. So I do think it would be a little unfair to sentence a teenager to that at the end of the day. Something that was really interesting to me as well is the decline in the desire for the death penalty. So they were saying since the 2010 that most states haven't had any executions, and everybody in favor for the executions went from 78% down to 56%. And do prisons and states have any responsibilities for criminals when it comes to health or maintaining their well-being? I do believe they have some responsibilities for them because, like I was saying earlier, it should be like a rehabilitation center. I know not every prisoner will look at that and maybe take the resources. Some might take it for granted, but I do think that it should be meant to make people better their lives and make them feel better in little ways. So, for example, their health, maybe you do feed them a little better than they're being fed right now. I'm not saying they deserve like 5-star meals or anything like that, but maybe they're fed meals with that are really high in nutrients, and that can make them maybe feel better just throughout their day, and they start realizing that a better lifestyle would give them a way better life than whatever they had going on. So you mesh in good nutrition, and then as far as their well-being, there are programs they can attend. There are sports. They're always lifting weights. You can get into certain schools and get a degree somehow. So I do think that if the prison just focuses on all of these things, I do think they can save a few of the prisoners. Granted, though, I don't think most criminals will turn their lives around, but I think that prison should be like the last net for people to kind of to get their last chance to turn their lives around. So I do think that the majority will still follow their lifestyle that they're used to, but I do think you can save more people at the end.